Welcome back to the show, guys, and you're here on the block. And as always, I'm your host, Soho. On the show today, we have
Kit.
there are things that, as a close friend, that you want to clear up about Robyn that some of the media may have gotten wrong.
I think just mostly like as a messenger who was killed on the job, but also just like as a rider, as a cyclist, like who was killed. I think it's just, I don't know, there's so many things that the media likes to skew and like put it in our fault, in our hands. And I think just things like that, you know, I think that we're all out here working or riding because we love it, and it's a real shame that like stories can't be set straight, you know, or like the blame is always placed on the victim who is a cyclist. Like it's never the driver's fault, or like, you know, it's like, oh, should have been in the bike lane. It's like, so I mean, I just want to, you know, speak from the heart like I did at the memorial, but also speak upon like being a messenger myself and as a woman out in New York, and just like the city needs to do us all better.
Were you one of the first messengers to know Robyn?
I mean, that's kind of tough because Robyn was in and out of New York. Robyn was, I think, like the first time they came to New York was for the Bike Film Festival last year, like 2018. I do know that I was like one of the first people like from the track that met Robyn, aside from Spin Peaks. And I mean, for me, like Robyn's first gig was at Samurai. You know, like I wanted to pass that baton. Like that was really important to me, and so yeah.
And what was it about meeting Robyn in such a short time that made you want to put in a word at Samurai?
I think it wasn't even just getting Robyn a job at Samurai. It was more like you met Robyn and like time stood still, and like Robyn used they them pronouns, and they never were really like super harsh on that. They were just kind of like live and let live. But it's really important, especially when you have like people from the WTF community like coming into cycling and racing and being a messenger, to like respect them and give them their space, because like there's already so little space on the streets and so little space for like us, that it's just something that's important, and just, I have a responsibility for it to do that. But I mean, it wasn't just about Samurai. It was just about like meeting this person who was so young and like
talented and skilled,
talented, you know, and like, I mean, I didn't know where I was at 20, and I wish people had my back, and I wish that I had an effect on people the way Robyn did on me. You know, I'm 7 years older than Robyn. I think there's a lot of people out here that are much older than Robyn, but like as soon as you met them and talked to them, you knew they cared. You knew they had this fire and this passion, and they just wanted to like do the best they could, but also like do it with integrity and like make the place that they were occupying better. And like, that was it. Like they just wanted to do better and be better. And I think that really took me by charge, because I think you see a lot of like complacency in people, and the city is so tough, and it took me a really long time to forge a community and like find where I wanted to be. And I think with Robyn, it was like I just saw this person and this unbridled potential, and I wanted to help nurture that and foster that. And like, you know, like we all joked around at the track that like Robyn was like our little sibling, you know, like Shailene's like Robyn's like mom of New York, and like we all just felt like Robyn was family and like ours, and we were theirs. And I knew like what I could do was like give Robyn a space to be a courier in New York. Like that's what they wanted it so bad, and I was like, tight, I got you. And immediately they were
made that happen,
and they were so fucking stoked. And like, you know, Josh and Brett and everybody at Samurai that like got to talk to Robyn or like deal with Robyn like on the street through the office, otherwise we're like, damn, this person is so like, there's something about them. Like I remember like Robyn was staying with me the weekend, like last weekend, and like Thursday was their first shift, and I was like, yo, how you doing? They're like freaking out, like, oh my god, I suck, I'm awful, I'm so slow, like shit. And I'm like, okay, chill, you're doing great. Like no one's yelling at you, like you're still getting work, no one told you to go home, you know, like. And I think it's nice too with Samurai is like you got someone young, but like everyone knew that Robyn had experience. Like, you know, just like word of mouth, like people knew Robyn. And so like there were other messengers that knew Robyn, but I think in the year that I spent knowing them, I got really close to them, and I felt really close to them. And I think it just was really apparent how much they cared about just being in a community and doing well. And it was like Thursday was raining, you know, we all talked about this at Samurai last night. We did a vigil for Robyn, and so we all got together and just kind of like talked about like meeting them and knowing them and not, some people not knowing them so well and sharing stories, and just like the overarching theme was like Thursday was fucking pouring rain and Robyn still had this bright smile on their face, like hungry for work, and just I think it was like Brett was dispatching, and like Brett's an old head, Brett's like a stone, and Robyn was just like, yo, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and Brett really held that to heart, and I think to get into Brett's heart is like really hard. It's that sort of thing. It's like unspoken. You just see it in that person. You see their magnetism. You see their strength and their light. And I think had Robyn been given a chance to live out their lives, they would have changed it. They would have really banded the community together more. They would have done so many awesome things with their lives.
Robyn was headed in that direction.
Yeah, and like on that precipice. And it's like it's fucking heart-wrenching to hear whenever anyone's killed, but for me this was like the first death in a really long time that felt like it was my family and part of me, and I wish it was me. Like I also think personally, like as a female messenger, as someone who's been in New York for 9 years and working for the past like 3.5 on their bike, I think the hardest thing for me was like knowing that I had been passed like the baton for like getting into like the place I wanted to be, and like I was responsible to passing that to somebody else, and I gave that to Robyn. But at the same time, like I think there's something on the streets, like since female couriers are a smaller crew, like number wise, I think for me the hardest thing was like knowing that was like my shift, and that I was supposed to be out there, and that's something that I have shared with people. It's a weird level of guilt, aside from being my job on the road, but also feeling like I didn't protect like one of my own, like I think there's a lot of us that feel like it should have been us over Robyn, or us over like anybody else, I mean, but for me, that's where I'm at, is I have like a really special, painful place of, my brain trying to be like, you could have done something, but at the same time, like you can't change the world or life or fucking tragedies. And yeah, we lost a good one. And
do you ever feel that some people aren't meant to be a messenger?
I mean, it's hard because like, you got people that have been on the streets for their whole lives, and then you talk to them and they're either super psyched about it or they don't know anything else to do. Like they do it because it's what they know, but they don't necessarily love it. Like I think that it's a hard fucking job.
Yeah, but Robyn definitely had the heart in it, that's for sure.
Robyn had the heart, and like I don't care that it was like their second day on the job or like they hadn't ridden New York much. Like Robyn had like what it was cut out to be. Like Robyn was tough as nails. Like Robyn was strong. Robyn was smart. Robyn was brave. Robyn knew how to ride bikes, like, and I think that Robyn worked in Richmond for a few years and was like always pushing cargo bikes, and like fucking rode up here from Richmond on a track bike, like
how many miles?
200 miles a day, and it's just like some people can be like, oh, you're not cut out to be a messenger. People told me I was never cut out to be a messenger because I was like too emotional or like small, like I'm a small woman, but like I've been doing this and it's something I find a lot of pride in, and I think like I don't care if anybody tells me I'm not cut out to be a messenger. I think that's a crack joke. It's like a crack question, like if you feel pride in it and you feel good about it and it makes you happy, then like that's what you do. Like I don't think there's no wrong or right when it comes to choosing to be a messenger or not. I think is it in your heart, and like do you find like this to move you and the people you work with to move you, then you're doing it right.
I respect that.
I think that like the biggest thing is like how the NYPD, like that one officer was like, it's sad, like maybe she'd still be alive if she was in the bike lane. I'm like, we all ride in the bike lane, we all don't ride in the bike lane. Like the bike lane is not the safest place. We know this.
It's not.
There's
even an Instagram account to prove it.
Yeah, like I was on my way to work today, like the first time I rode my bike for real in a week, and there's 2 18-wheelers in the bike lane and a car parked right next to like the little space I could get out for the bike lane. And it's like, there's the bike lane is such a weird caveat of like safety, not safe, but no one really gives a damn about it except for us. But then like I don't ride in the bike lane half the time because it's not safe for me. I take a car lane that's legal for me. I think it's a real really upsetting that like the NYPD and like the city will put like this person at fault or other people at fault because they weren't in the bike lane, when like the bike lane is not ever thought about. It's not well protected. It's not insured. You know, it's just another thing for people to either park in or walk in or skate in, or, you know, like
It's pretty much paint.
it's nothing. No one respects it, you know, and I think you learn that too, is like you find more respect out on the street riding with cars, you know.